Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, this is Bruce Marshall from Simpler Trading with the nightly market update for Wednesday, December the 18th. And we are rolling into the end of the year, and this year has been a fantastic year for the S&P. We're up 27% or so on the year. And looks like we should take that on into the end of the year, but let's kind of break it down first. As you know, I like to look at the S&P because that's a gauge of everything that we really look for. So let's jump in here and take a look, get started here with the S&P. Now this is today. As you can see here, this looks all over the place, right? We had some gaps here, gap down, gap up, kind of back and forth, and kind of ended up where we started with a little fade there right at the tail end. And that's kind of what's been going on this week. In fact, if you look at this, let's do a 3-day chart here. Look at this. This is amazing. Again, this is the S&P. So we had the big gap up here on the phase one agreement for the China tariffs, and we got a huge gap up. And then once we got the news, this is Monday morning right here, big gap up and then flatline the whole week, which is pretty amazing since we hit two new all-time highs this week. I think that was yesterday. This was today. We still have not breached 3,200 yet. I think it will, depending on what happens. I think we should. What happens overnight? I think we should get there probably tomorrow, maybe Friday. I think most likely tomorrow. But the funny thing, if you remember from last week when I did the nightly video, last Wednesday. Let's go back here to 10 days. So I always do the nightly videos on Wednesday, and this was last Wednesday. We were right here. And I said, go ahead and write it down. I said 3,200 is my end of the year target. This was last Wednesday when I said that, and we're already there. And we still got a week and a half, almost 2 weeks to go. So if you were in the main room, I did a end of the year. I raised it to 3,250, and I did a butterfly up there at 3,250. But I don't know. We're having a hard time getting over this 3,200. We do have the impeachment vote tonight, so at the moment it doesn't seem to really be affecting the market either way. That can change, but at the moment it doesn't really seem like anything going on there. So again, we just kind of have to keep looking higher and higher. And I've said this quite a few times too, that I have been I was very bullish back here and caught a good bit of this, and the higher we go, the less and less bullish I'm getting. And I keep saying, we have to play it to the upside, but we need to hedge, and I've gotten lighter and lighter as we go as far as position sizing and number of positions and things like that. Just because when everyone gets so bullish like they are right now, I kind of hate to use the word euphoria, but that's what it feels like to me. It's just there's just been no dip, and we know it's because of China and all of that kind of built in. But we'll have a day of reckoning here. There'll be a speed bump about the China deal, or something will come up, or it could just be an exhaustion. I don't think it's going to be. I don't really think it's going to be before the end of the year. I think everybody wants to go out of the year, go out on a high note for the end of the year. So again, we may have a little blip or one of these little kind of dips, but I think we end up back somewhere between 3,200 3,250 at the end of the year. And I know that's a pretty big range, and I said 3,200, but we sure did get there much faster than I thought. So anyway, that's what I've got on the S&P. And real quick, let's look at the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ has had, look at this, crazy move. We've had 5 days in a row in the NASDAQ of hitting new all-time highs. There's Thursday. All-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high, all-time high. We just higher, 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 higher. Um, that's starting to really make me nervous, and we will definitely start to selectively add hedging and things like that. I've got some on the S&P right now, but I probably put some on the Nasdaq because the Nasdaq can fall faster, probably. But we shall see. It's not quite time yet. I don't really want to do it. I'll start preparing toward the end of the year. Um, I really don't see this market rolling over in the last week of the year. We typically have the Santa rally. Now I kind of feel like we've already gotten it. It's already embedded, but who knows? So, all that being said, the bottom line is, um, if you haven't made your money this year, don't try to make it in the last week because it's getting, the ice is probably getting thin. There are some pockets of opportunity, but just be careful. Again, we want to look higher into the end of the year. We will start over, next year, January. We'll get back into another earnings season. We'll have a phase two of a China deal and all that kind of stuff. So, um, we have to really take this thing, day by day, especially the next week or two, because we'll have really light volume, and light volume can actually mean more kind of whipsaws. Market can get pushed around on really light volume as well. So, stay on your toes. If you are going to be traveling a lot or whatever, I would be super light on my positions, and because news can pop up at any time. But anyway, that being said, let's keep looking higher, and we'll see where we go over the next week. So have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.